Alien, Earth Season 1 Finale explained. The Season 1 finale of Alien, Earth was everything fans could have hoped for: chaotic, shocking, tragic, and deeply unsettling. Episode 8, titled The Real Monsters, tied up some major storylines while also leaving plenty of threads dangling for Season 2. It gave us betrayals, revelations, a clash of ideologies, and that final twist with Species 64, the Ocellus, finding its host in Arthur's reanimated corpse. Let's break down the finale from start to finish, unpack what it means for the characters, and look ahead at where this series might be heading.
Containment on the other creatures is good for now, but we are understaffed.
A world in disarray. When the episode begins, Neverland is already on fire, figuratively speaking. Prodigy's grip is slipping fast. A xenomorph has been unleashed on the island and is slaughtering Prodigy's dwindling security team. The Lost Boys, meanwhile, are reeling from their failed escape attempt and their punishment: imprisonment in a giant circular birdcage. This cage becomes a symbolic centerpiece of the episode, bookending the story with shifting power dynamics. Boy Cavalier, the eccentric trillionaire behind so much of the chaos, is losing control. His grand vision of using Species 64 to reforge humanity in his image is unraveling. Yet, even as everything collapses, his obsession burns bright. He still wants to transfer the Ocellus into a human host, preferably one expendable enough to risk, but malleable enough to control. While locked in the cage, the Lost Boys turn on each other, debating who betrayed their escape. Curly swears she wasn't the snitch, but suspicion lingers. Meanwhile, Wendy can't let go of her anger toward her brother Peter for hurting Nibs. This family rift simmers beneath everything else, showing that even amid corporate conspiracies and alien threats, the core of this story remains about fractured bonds and mistrust. The unlikely pairing of Hermit and Morrow. Elsewhere, Hermit and Morrow find themselves in their own cage, two men who despise each other's past choices, but now share a common enemy in Prodigy, and the corporations pulling its strings. Their brief but powerful scenes together highlight the rotten system that fuels the conflict. Wendy, whose powers to manipulate the facility seem to have amplified, helps them break free. And once out, they split up with separate missions: Hermit to find his sister and the Lost Boys, and Morrow to confront Kirsch in the one-on-one brawl the entire season had been building toward. Morrow versus Kirsch. The fight between Morrow and Kirsch is brutal, bloody, and staged almost like a professional wrestling match. Cameras roll, the Lost Boys watch from the monitors, and the showdown plays like a spectacle. Kirsch, the synthetic company man, and Morrow, the disillusioned soldier, go at each other with ferocity. This battle is more than just physical. It represents the clash between two forms of servitude: one who willingly serves the corporations, and one who thought he was resisting but still played their game. It's messy, personal, and cathartic, one of the highlights of the episode.
Run.
Boy Cavalier on the run. But while fists fly, Boy Cavalier makes his move. He appears before the Lost Boys and, in classic villain fashion, launches into a monologue about his traumatic childhood. For a moment, we glimpse the pain that shaped him into the barefoot trillionaire tyrant. Yet his attempt at dominance collapses when the Lost Boys discover that their artificial bodies contain hidden weapons. Suddenly, the power dynamic flips. The children, long cast as helpless victims, become the true monsters. The flickering lights and chilling score drive home the horror of the realization. These children weren't designed to be saved. They were designed as weapons. Wendy's reckoning. Meanwhile, Hermit crosses paths with Adam, Boy's right-hand man. At first, Adam seems like just another corporate stooge, but it quickly becomes clear he's something more, another synthetic like Kirsch. Adam tries to capture Hermit for the Ocellus experiment, but Wendy arrives in the nick of time. Her powers allow her to override Adam's systems. Wendy and Hermit then share a long overdue conversation. It's not warm reconciliation, but it's honest. Hermit warns her that humanity is just food to these alien species. Wendy counters with raw vulnerability. She doesn't know what she is anymore. She's not a child, Not an adult, not Marcy, not Wendy. She feels like an identity lost in between, crushed under everyone else's expectations. Her words sting when she tells Hermit not to use complexity as an excuse for inaction. That is what powerless people say to make doing nothing okay. It's one of the most powerful moments in the episode, highlighting her growth into someone who refuses to be passive, even if she doesn't fully understand herself yet. The Ocellus finds its host. And then comes the moment many suspected but dreaded. The Ocellus slithers its way to Arthur's corpse. After attaching itself through his eye socket, the alien reanimates him, turning Arthur into its host. This is a game changer. The Ocellus doesn't just parasitize the living, it can raise the dead. That revelation expands the terror of Species 64 exponentially. Arthur's return under alien control also raises huge questions. How will Boy react to seeing Arthur, his supposed ally, turned into a puppet? And how will Dame Sylvia, Arthur's widow, respond when she realizes her husband's body is being paraded around by a cosmic parasite? D. Plumbicare's attack. Episode 8 really showed just how lethal and terrifying this thing is. Once it broke free from containment, it immediately crossed paths with Prodigy's TAC team, who had been sent in to grab heavier firepower. Her MDM Camille's Siberian ended up as its first victim. The creature's speed is shocking. It scuttles across walls with the unsettling agility of a giant spider. What makes it even more disturbing, as Slightly dubs it, is its ability to morph into a starfish-like shape. Its attack and feeding process unfolds in stages. First, it probes and examines its target with that sharp, quill-like appendage. Once it determines the prey is viable, it spreads open its umbrella-shaped body and envelopes the victim completely. The draining begins almost instantly. It's not just a matter of feeding. The crushing power of its leaf-like limbs closes in with horrifying force. In Siberian's case, you could actually see the blood seeping out and hear the bones splintering as the monster consumed her. Gruesome doesn't even begin to cover it.
Now we rule.
The tables turn. By the finale's closing moments, the symbolic birdcage is back in focus. Only this time, it's the adults trapped inside, Dame Sylvia, Moro, Adam, a glitching Kirsch, and a defeated Boy Cavalier. On the outside stand the Lost Boys, now ruling Neverland with Wendy at their side and two xenomorphs backing them up. The children, once victims, have seized control, and they declare themselves rulers of the island. It's a chilling image. Children as tyrants, adults as prisoners, and an alien menace spreading unchecked. The Lost Boys believe they've won, but they're oblivious to the bigger threat looming just offshore. Weyland-Yutani mobilizing for a ground war against Prodigy. And in the cage, Boy Cavalier smiles. He seems almost proud, not broken. Perhaps he always wanted this outcome, to see his creations overthrow their oppressors, even if it cost him his freedom. What Season 2 could bring. The finale leaves the door wide open for Season 2. Several major threads are dangling. Arthur as the Ocellus host. How much autonomy does he have left, if any? And what new abilities will the Ocellus display through him? A Wendy and the Lost Boys. Will their rule hold, or will internal fractures tear them apart? A Weyland-Yutani versus Prodigy. With Prodigy weakened and Weyland-Yutani moving in, a corporate war seems inevitable, one that could reshape the balance of power. The Xenomorphs, with two now bonded to Wendy as their surrogate queen. What role will they play in the children's rule of Neverland? Boy Cavalier, is he truly defeated, or does his smile suggest a hidden plan? Final thoughts. Alien. Earth Season 1 went out with a finale that was equal parts horrifying, tragic, and thrilling. By flipping the power dynamics, reanimating Arthur, and leaving the future uncertain, the show ensures its story won't be forgotten anytime soon. The final shot of Boy smiling from inside the cage might be the most haunting of all. It suggests that in his mind, he has already won. His creations are out in the world, his legacy secured. And if the true monsters of this story are humanity itself, then maybe he's right. Season 2 now has the chance to build on this foundation, expanding the war between corporations, deepening the alien mythology, and testing Wendy's fragile identity. If this finale proved anything, it's that no one is safe, and the real monsters might not be the aliens at all.